Hello everyone, this is Peter from Limitless Minds Academy. I am a certified hypnotherapist, postgraduate student from the Hypnotherapy School of Marisa Peer. During my education, I was taught how to serve clients from all over the world and through the power of hypnosis to help them achieve new ways of living, to heal themselves from within, and to start living the life of their dreams. Limitless Minds Academy is the space where I share with you my knowledge and my experience about hypnotherapy, and through this, I help you overcome various limiting beliefs, gain clarity, and align your mindset for success in your personal life, in your career, and in your intrapersonal relationships. If you like my content, please consider subscribing to the Limitless Minds Academy channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon so that you stay up to date with my videos as soon as they get released in the channel. So without further ado, let's move right into today's video. So in this first video, I'm talking about the foundations of hypnotherapy, what it is, and how it is connected to the subconscious mind. How I use hypnotherapy to help clients achieve the life that they want. Hypnotherapy is often misunderstood for either being used only for stage entertainment and for performances, for example, to make people do things against their will or to say things against their will and to be mocked afterwards by the audience, or is also considered to be some kind of new age holistic charlatanism which only claims to be bringing changes to people's lives while not doing anything considerable when it comes to achieving real results. However, at its core, hypnosis in hypnotherapy has absolutely nothing to do with entertainment and stage performance. It's firmly based on neurological science, and over time, hypnotherapy has proved itself as an invaluable holistic asset that accesses the subconscious mind and brings new levels of self-awareness and mindset transformation to the client. Now, what is the subconscious mind? The subconscious mind is responsible for managing all of our habits of thoughts and actions throughout the day. And sometimes it's without even realizing it, because all of these actions and thoughts that we have are done on autopilot. And if I can illustrate this more clearly, if you have an iceberg, the upper part, the top part, which we see sticking out above the water, is our conscious mind, which represents our thoughts and actions, our behaviors throughout the day. And these behaviors are only 5 to 10% of the ones that we have in our mind. The rest, 90 to 95%, this part of the iceberg, which is beneath the surface, which is submerged under the water, and is not to be seen from us, contains all of the habits of thought and action which we do not have control over with our conscious mind. And in order to gain access to these patterns, these beliefs, some toxic habits that we need to address, we need to put our mind in a relaxed state so that we can gain access to our subconscious mind and then start working with these habits of thought and action, the issue that we like to resolve in order to achieve our desired outcome. That's because when you try to work on some issues with to the conscious mind, you may face severe criticism, because the upper part that sticks from above the water, the conscious mind, has integrated that critical faculty of the mind. This part that really makes us hesitate when we want to make a change. And this part can't be avoided unless we relax our mind and go into the subconscious mind. And that's why some of the issues, if we'd like to fix them consciously, we cannot. If we try to work with talk therapy between a therapist and a client, if we try just asking questions consciously and receiving answers, we will not be able to go into the root cause of the problem. That's why we need to first relax our mind and access the subconscious part of it, the lower part of the iceberg, which we cannot see since it's under the water. Only then we'll be able to address the issue at its core. Only when we access the subconscious mind in a relaxed state, only then we can start rewiring our brain to create patterns of behaviors, of thought and action that actually serve us to achieve the life that we want and not work against us. And this is the actual purpose of hypnotherapy. Through reaching the state of focused relaxation, called hypnosis, we manage to bypass the critical faculty of our conscious mind. And when the conscious mind is relaxed in a state of hypnosis, we're able to access the subconscious mind, which opens up consequently, and then the mind naturally becomes acceptable and reaches that state that allows us to gently start reprogramming it. Hypnotherapy allows us to gain direct access to the subconscious mind, since it contains all the beliefs, habits, feelings, and memories from our past experiences, from childhood, from adulthood, from our past overall. And our subconscious mind operates quite differently from our conscious one. It doesn't reason or argue. It just accepts suggestions and acts accordingly. And that's why hypnotherapy is so effective for changing people's lives. When the client is gently put in a state of hypnosis, then the subconscious mind becomes ready for manipulation through positive or negative suggestions. And actually, it's quite easy to get into the state of hypnosis, since hypnosis is a really natural state of being and we access it on a daily basis almost every day. For example, when we are just daydreaming, when we are reading a good book, or simply sitting relaxed in front of the TV, or even having a good nap at the back seat of the car or a plane, we are getting into the state of hypnosis really naturally. And in all of these moments, the mind gets open for manipulation through suggestions. And by the way, marketers that create ads on TV or radio are quite familiar with this. They use powerful suggestions when we are distracted in the car or laying in front of the TV to manipulate our mind to start buying products like drugs, fizzy drinks, junk food, expensive cars, or even bank trusts. Because when our minds are under manipulation, then these negative thoughts that were, for example, we're always getting sick, we're in pain, we need to buy the next gadget, the next expensive car, we listen to these ads repeatedly on a daily basis. And through the power of repetition, that's how these programs get implemented into our subconscious mind. And then, through repetition, we create new habits of toxic eating, harming our bodies, harming our minds with fears about the future, with anxiety, and many others. And that's how we unconsciously create new harmful habits. And I would say that the suggestions that are being used to sell us products and services that make us create harmful habits are actually negative suggestions. And this is how marketers actually, instead of helping us improve our life, they make us be more tempted to live a life that is not in our benefit, but rather harms us negatively. And we all unconsciously reach that state just because we allow ourselves to accept suggestions unconsciously on autopilot on a daily basis that reprogram our minds just without us realizing them. And then we start living on autopilot and having those programs that then need to start resolving through hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy, on the other hand, does just the opposite thing. It works just in the opposite direction. Instead of providing us with negative suggestions, when the client is put into the relaxed state, in this focused state of relaxation, and when the subconscious mind is engaged for inner work, we use again the power of repetition to help the client establish new powerful beliefs, new emotions, new habits of thought and action in the subconscious mind. But instead of negative suggestions, we use positive ones, such powerful suggestions that help the client to actually improve their lives and not harm them. Hypnotherapy is widely used for so many different purposes, as it is a holistic approach which works on the body, mind, and soul. It helps different clients overcome these dependencies like overeating. It also helps to quit smoking, drinking, and some psychological states of burnout, anxiety, and even some states of light depression and hyperactivity, ADHD. So when it comes to the benefits of hypnotherapy, it relies firmly on the state of relaxation so that the client can get into the inner world to examine the feelings, the habits, and the thoughts that lie beneath the surface right there in the subconscious mind, and to start addressing them in order to achieve powerful results and to shift the mindset for success, whether it's in personal life or in business. And when the limiting beliefs are resolved, and when the mind is programmed for achieving success, then the actions will just follow the mind naturally. Many of my clients say that they feel more relaxed and in control after a hypnotherapy session. And that's quite a common outcome after a hypnotherapy session, because when the client's mind has been freed from that mental blockages that have held him to the past experience of trauma, lack of confidence, anxiety, and so on, then when the subconscious mind has been rewired through new neural pathways of thought and action, when the mind is being stimulated with powerful suggestions about new habits, new actions, new behaviors, new feelings, new emotions that the client wants to have in his new reality, then to the power of repetition, the mind builds these new neural pathways. And then after some period of time, the client starts experiencing changes, shifts in mindset, and also changes in the behavior when interacting within the family, with friends, or with colleagues in the workplace. Now, an example about a recent client comes to my mind. I had a client who was really hesitant, really shy, and constantly self-doubting, and mostly having lack of confidence to stand up and present his new project in front of his colleagues and clients in the workplace. But after a hypnotherapy session with me, when the mindset got transformed so that he feels more confident and always ready to just put himself out there and present his project in front of the clients and his colleagues. After the session, when the mind was reprogrammed to match the reality that he wanted to be living in, then after a few weeks, standing up in front of his colleagues and clients just became second nature to him. There was absolutely no trace of the self-doubt, shyness, and this lack of confidence. And then he became so confident in himself just by rewiring his brain with the new positive habits of thought and actions, just with a few suggestions that have been specially designed for him. But of course, throughout the hypnotherapy session, we first had to examine where the root cause of the problem is. But this is a topic for a whole new video, which of course I will cover in the following days, when we talk more in depth, when we get more into depth about the benefits and characteristics of the hypnotherapy session, when we start examining what exactly happens during a hypnotherapy session. And believe me, there's hardly anything as satisfying as seeing the client's happy smile of delight and gratitude after a successful hypnotherapy session. Because the client's results and the feedback after the session are the most invaluable asset for us, the therapists, because this is the biggest proof how hypnosis can actually be useful when it comes to achieving transformation in your mindset and to move yourself to the direction that you want to be moving towards and living your dream life. And hypnotherapy is the biggest proof that you can basically achieve limitless opportunities when you have the right mindset for them. And from my personal experience and my experience with my dear clients, I can guarantee that hypnotherapy indeed can provide this solution for a healthy mindset. Because when you make your mind limitless, then life simply becomes effortless. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.